D-Roy Cruz again here, your life applications officer. Let me tune it. I'm going to call this Miss My Ukulele Part 2. Or should I say Miss My Ukulele Part 2. Now this is the baritone. And I'm going to do the same song that I did, one of the same songs that I did, so you can see what I was talking about in the last video. This is my cheap Mitchell baritone, which is not cheap at all. It's a beautiful sound for a very inexpensive ukulele. And what I've accidentally done on this one is this G string. I popped it, and so I didn't have any spare G strings laying around the house. So what I did was I took this G string from, I think it was a regular ukulele string, a regular tenor string, and I put it on here. And when I tuned it, I couldn't tune it all the way up without re-popping it because it was too tight. So what I did was I left it in the first register, which gives it a lower G than what a normal set of baritone ook strings would give you. So listen, it's not My Dog Has Fleas. It's, see how low and mellow that sounds? That's your regular string, and this is the string not all the way tuned to its proper register. But it sounds great because it gives it a more guitar sound. I'm not going to leave it like this. As soon as I get a set of uke strings, I'm going to fix this. But as for now, I'll have to make do. One thing about the baritone is you have more range and you have more bass. So when you go up here to something like an A minor, especially with the string being, with this G string being the lowest, see that? And I just put it on here not too long ago, so I got to make sure I keep tuning, especially when I bend, because I love to bend and vibrato. I love to bend, and I love to do vibrato. It don't matter what instrument I'm playing. If I had a mandolin, I'd still be doing vibrato and string bending. It's, if I can't bend strings and do vibrato, forget it. Alright, here it is. I want you to hear the difference between this and the tenor. And I want you to hear what I'm able to do with the baritone that I couldn't do with the tenor, because the tenor was high G and it was in a higher range. This is in a lower range, and the fourth string is the lowest string, but in my case, the G string, the third string is the lowest string. I want you to hear it. Normally, like a guitar, the last string would be the lowest note, but because I popped the string, this G string is the lowest note. See? So let's do the same song, one of the same songs that I did on the last video. I want you to hear the beauty of this baritone and the things that you can do with it that you can't do with a tenor. Okay, here we go. Sing hallelujah to the Lord. surrender all. I surrender all to you. So you see that? Couldn't do that on tenor. That's why when I do praise and worship, I use my baritone more than my tenor. If I'm doing a song that is like praise and worship, I'll use the baritone more than I'll use the tenor. The tenor I like to use for more melodic stuff, a mixture of melodic stuff as well as a lot of intense strumming where you're doing a lot of fancy strumming where you I like to do that kind of stuff on the tenor, you know, that real I'll do that kind of stuff on the tenor, and I love to play. When it comes to where you're going to go down the scale and back up the scale, or should I say down the scale and back up the scale, you want something with a more of a bass range to it. So like if I'm going up the scale, I can come back down the scale. See that? Go up the scale, come down the scale. And I get more of a bass range going down the scale. When you do a tenor, especially one with a high G string like the typical vintage tenor ukulele, when you go down the scale, that high G string, okay, or should I say, yeah, that high G string is going to not be, you know, like that, like this. And also too, the baritone has a more guitar sound to it, and not just because you play the same fingerings. And I love too about the baritone is you got more range to play. You know, if you want to play something and then you want to like improvise up here, or play like the chord inversion up here to add more beauty to the song, you can do that too on the baritone. Believe it or not, depending on what part of the country you're from, there are more baritones sold than tenors, because of that guitar sound, and because of the range and the deep sound. And there's different kinds of strings that you can put on a baritone ukulele that give it either deeper or brighter sounds. So in this case, I have a very deep sound because I had to take down this G string. I couldn't take it where it belongs. I had to keep it down to keep from popping it. So it's the lowest string on this instrument right now, and it gives it D-Roy Cruz here. Thank you for watching again. And I will talk to you soon. God bless.